Okay, we're back. Sorry, had a little bit of a issue with my recorder. It ran out of time. So I just have one more example to do. I'm just going to do this last example. I'm going to keep it pretty quick here. Remember, step one, you got to find the slope. So we're going to find the slope first. So step one is slope. Again, if you need help with this step, you're going to go back and rewatch lesson 4.3. The strategy that we learned was we're going to highlight the X's in green, highlight the Y's in yellow. We're going to remember that the Y's go on top and the X's go on the bottom, and we are subtracting them. So our slope is going to be equal to, the other part of the strategy is to put the minus sign on the line before you put the numbers on the line. That way you won't forget. Sometimes there's an extra negative. So for our first thing, we're going to do the 50 minus the 80 because it's the second number minus the first number. Then on the bottom, it is 10 minus negative 20. So here's what I'm talking about when I talk about the extra negative. You want to make sure you have a minus, and then the number you're plugging in is negative 20. So that's why putting the minus down first can be really helpful. Again, let's do this one by hand because we have a little extra time. So 50 minus 80, that is negative 30. It's like saying I have $50 in my bank account and then I bought something that cost $80, so I'm negative 30 in my bank account. All right, remember when you have two negatives, it becomes a positive. So it's just 10 plus 20, which is 30. And then you can reduce this fraction. Both top and bottom can be divided by 30, which would be negative 1 over 1. But we know that when we're using slope, we're going to want to reduce that a little bit more. So that was our step one. Our step two, you got to solve for b. So we're going to do step two, which is solving for the b value. All right, so we have y equals mx plus b. We're going to plug in the numbers, always going to use the first point. Again, it does not matter which point you use as long as you use the same point for both the x and the y. So I just always pick the first point just to be consistent and not make any mistakes. So my y I can see is 80. My m I just found in my previous answer was negative 1 over 1, which I'm going to make it a little easier on myself and reduce it to negative 1. My x value in that point is negative 20. Remember, when the two numbers are next to each other, they are being secretly multiplied. All right, the first step is to multiply negative 1 times negative 20. Didn't really need my calculator for that, but I just wanted to make sure that we know that that's an option for us. And then we're going to solve for b. So we got minus 20, and we know that that means that 60, we're adding top to bottom, that becomes 0. 60 is equal to b. All right, last step, and this one would actually be step 4, right? This is step 1, step 2, step 3, and it would actually be step 4 in that if you go back and watch the video. This video is 7.3. But since our goal is to write the answer down at the very end, we have y equals negative 1 x plus 60. Remember, the m is what we found in the first step, the b is what we found in the second step, and so we have negative 1x plus 60. But when we put this into the Schoology quiz, we want to make sure that we're putting it in with our pinkies up. We're going to reduce it all the way. So we would write y equals negative x plus 60. Remember, you can always rewrite a negative 1 or a 1 without it, in front of a variable without the 1. Okay, So now you have 4 examples to do on your own. Remember, you can always submit your answer on Schoology, check your answer, and resubmit until you get it right. And you can see the correct answers if you click View, and it'll show you the correct answer and what you had, and then maybe you just made a typo or something. You never know. All right, good luck, have fun. See you this week.